Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. Brace for impact. This is going to be a tough one to get through. Uh, I don't know why I'm starting out like that because you're probably like, yeah, well, I'm going away from this video. I have enough stress in my life. I don't need to get worked up anymore. Please stick around. It'll be fun, uncensored and unafraid. And we're going to need that phrase for this video. Quick favor, you know the drill. If you have been here for a while, please like this video. It is the only way YouTube even dares show it to anyone else. Make sure you're subscribed if you already have. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really, really does help out tremendously. Comment below after you hear all of this. So let's get into this. Remember, Carrie Champion did a video not that long ago when she had the audacity as a media member to talk about Caitlin Clark getting favoritism, to talk about Caitlin Clark getting special treatment, where there has probably not been an athlete in the history of sports who has gotten, I don't even want to say less favoritism than Caitlin Clark, because that makes it still sound like she gets some. But we'll just say the opposite. She has been targeted more than any athlete in the history of any sport. Targeted by her opponents, targeted by the referees, targeted by the media, targeted by the league itself from Kathy Engelbert on down. Caitlin Clark has been attacked in every single way possible from every single person and entity connected to the WNBA. They hate her. They loathe her. They despise her. They want to break her. And yet they also somehow want to keep enough of her fans that they can still talk about everyone watching women's sports and justify the CBA and the media rights deal, which has a trigger coming in 2028. They better make sure they have fans in 2028. They need to grow. I don't see that ratings are growing, especially when you have the built-in 15 to 30% from the new way that they get ratings. And so not only did Carrie Champion absolutely loathsome human being from ESPN, I'm sure connected to Stephanie White's wife from ESPN, who hates Caitlin Clark. Stephanie White's mentor and close friend, Carolyn Peck, who we all know hates Caitlin Clark. Y'all are going to sit there and tell me, well, no, Stephanie White loves Caitlin Clark, when everyone in Stephanie White's orbit loathes Caitlin Clark. By the way, that's a lot of connections to media. Do you think maybe Stephanie White could have a little bit of influence in making sure that those types of stories aren't going out, that we don't see this coordinated smear campaign against Caitlin Clark? Now, don't forget what Carrie also decided to do was take it to an entirely new level and not just have a erroneous, embarrassingly, blatantly odd, bad take that Caitlin Clark gets favoritism, but she literally said to Caitlin Clark via that podcast with the cultural appropriating Jamel Hill and her straight blonde hair. I'm just saying, I really personally don't care about that crap, but I hear all these morons always talking about cultural appropriation. Well, hell, then you know what? You might as well hear about it when you're the one actually doing it. But anyway, yeah, she said, I don't like you. Disgusting, disgusting thing for a so-called media personality to be saying in that situation when supposedly critiquing a player in the league that they are covering. But as is per usual, that got pushed back as it deserved because it was low-life scumbag nonsense. And guess what happened next? Carrie and Jamel used the opportunity from legitimate pushback on their crap to then, of course, play victim, toss out lies, pull the race card, woe is me, white people terrible, Caitlin Clark clan, and on and on and on, when of course what they're truly doing is projecting their own behavior and their own feelings onto other people. Listen to this.
I have never been called so many N-words and see you next Tuesdays and jealous.
For a basketball opinion.
Some of her fans are so unhinged, and I think it speaks to a larger issue of what's happening in our world today.
Okay, let's stop right there. Jamel, you with the straight bleached blonde hair, the cultural appropriator yourself. Jamel Hill, now keep in mind, was fired from ESPN. We all know that ESPN has turned into a political news organization that uses sports as an excuse to talk politics. And they've got some extreme lunatics over there. And yet Jamel Hill was so extreme that they let her go. Just so you have an idea of where this is coming from. No, as I just made very clear, it was not a basketball opinion, Jamel. You are lying, which is usually what happens when you open your mouth. She straight up said, I don't like you, with regard to Caitlin Clark. That is not a basketball opinion. All of these hit pieces on Caitlin Clark going after her character are not basketball opinions. And by the way, if I may back up one more second, Carrie, I don't believe a word you just said. I don't believe a word you just said about what you were called. Not a word of it.
I'm not saying this about all her fans, but there is no question that there was a group of intentional people who used Caitlin Clark as their avatar to say all the shit about black women and all the shit about black people that they've always wanted to say.
This is 100% a lie. And by the way, Carrie and Jamel, I hate to break it to you. And by the way, let me back up even a little more. Anyone who does do that, and I'm separating this from Caitlin Clark, just in general, we all know it's awful. We all know everyone denounces that, which is why they like to pull that victim card with this, because it sounds so reasonable, right? No one's going to support that. Of course, it's utter and complete nonsense. And by the way, Jamel, Carrie, just a little bit of advice. You are legitimizing those comments that you were complaining about by acting the way that you do. I'm just saying this behavior right here, regardless of skin color, by the way, is exactly the type of behavior that people will complain about, and rightfully so, because it's gross. Good people don't act. You're not good people. Let me put it that way.
These are all basketball opinions.
Again, they weren't. You said, I don't like you when referring to Caitlin Clark. That is not a basketball opinion. If I critique what you do, Carrie, legitimately say, okay, this is how you handle these situations. This is how you deliver your stuff. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. That would be my opinion on my critique of your job as in sports media. If I say, hey, Carrie, I don't like you, that is personal.
Caitlin Clark clan have made
there it
about
is.
race and made it about something.
Now, see, again, go back to the other stuff. Jamel Hill, although again, no proof, right? They're all just saying that. If you notice, they never have receipts. They never have receipts. But hey, Carrie, guess what? I do have the receipt of you saying, I don't like you to Caitlin Clark. I do have the receipt right here of you equating Caitlin Clark's fans with the KKK. Disgusting, loathsome, vile behavior, not to mention lies. This is a derogatory racial slur. Carrie, let's be clear, and it's coming from you.
That has nothing to do with what's happening actually on the court.
Nothing you say has to do with what's happening on the court. At the risk of irking all of you watching, I don't like you has nothing to do with what's happening on the court.
We can't be afraid of a sycophant base because of what they are going to do or how they get together to troll and spam and call people on their phone.
Wow. So again, lots and lots of projecting because this is the crap that all of you as Caitlin Clark fans who just loved that you watched this young lady, this young college student do things on a basketball court in the women's game that you had never seen before and you fell in love with it. It was some of the most incredible entertainment that you had ever watched. And then you got to know her a little more and that fiery competitiveness and the way she would fire up fans. And yes, the trash talking and yes, the crash outs, all of it, the basketball IQ, the passing, and you were just mesmerized. And you're like, wow, I love this. I love watching this young woman play basketball. And so when she had that dream come true and she got drafted in the WNBA, he said, yeah, I'm going to keep watching her. You had no idea what was coming next. And nor should you, because it never, ever should have happened. What happened to all of you as Caitlin Clark fans? It's disgusting. It never should have happened. It's all a bunch of lies because these WNBA activists in their little deviant social club. Yeah, I said that. I said that. Because, yeah, now I am going to do a little trolling. Now I am going to get under the skin just a little bit. They did not want this woman succeeding. They did not want her fans because, hey, y'all know sunlight's the best disinfectant, right? Now we're going to put all these basketball eyes on the WNBA, the cesspool that is the WNBA, the league that bullied Candace Wiggins out of it. Y'all starting to think that maybe that all of that story is completely true when you see what's happening to Caitlin Clark? Yeah, that's why they don't want Caitlin Clark around.
Anonymous person I do not know called my phone. I was with a friend. I was like, hey, answer my phone for me. And so she answered it. He was like, I just want you to know the FBI is tracking this call. I have an issue where I felt like I got doxxed. And so I had to let the authorities know because I was getting some hateful, racist messages.
You want to silence us or you just want to be hateful? They're comfortable with finally being able to say the things they've always wanted to say under the guise of how dare you talk about our favorite player.
Again, none of this is true. Speaking of comfortable saying the things you've always wanted to say, I think we just saw that segment just now, Carrie and Jamel, and I think it's pretty sure that it came from you. It came from you. It didn't come from the Caitlin Clark fans. This is one of the most, I hate to use the word disgusting again. I don't know, vile, loathsome, pathetic, gross, bigoted, immature, bratty, entitled, low IQ nonsense that I've ever seen spewed. But that's where we are with the WNBA right now. This is what we get. Unless we are going to stand strong and force them to clean house if they want to have a successful league, this is what we will continue to get. I don't even know if this one's going to make the channel. We shall see. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to y'all later.